Hey guys, Joey from Clash J Video Productions here. Just wanted to make a really quick video on a couple things here. I was supposed to go rail fanning today, but the weather was too bad. I was supposed to go back to Suffolk, but anyway, it's just been so rainy, and most of you probably know this, but for those of you who don't know, Hurricane Joaquin's on the way. We think it's going to go out to the Atlantic Ocean and miss us, but anyway, so that's why I didn't get to go rail fanning today like I had originally hoped. So anyway, that's about all I have on that. Secondly, I know y'all are probably tired of hearing this, but just wanted to give you another little update on the new camera situation here. As far as that's concerned, I am going to go ahead and get a car first. For those of you who don't know, Mom got a new car. It's that Subaru Outback that I posted a video of on here. And the old 2003 Mitsubishi Galant that she used to drive before, well, that's going to be mine. I'm currently saving for it, and I'm almost there. And once I save up for that, that car is going to be mine. And still haven't gotten the word on when I can drive yet, but I am going, and I actually forgot to mention this to y'all. I am going to the UVA Epilepsy Center in February. I will find out when I can drive. I was actually told that last time I went to the Epilepsy Center that I would be coming back in February. I forgot to mention that to y'all. I had said I would keep y'all posted on that, so I apologize for the delay in that. Hope y'all will forgive me. But I will be going back in February, and I will find out when I can drive again then. Hopefully it will be sooner than later, but for now I am still planning on buying my mom's old Galant, and it does have over 150,000 miles and has had 3 transmissions, but I figure as long as I treat it well and don't hammer it too hard and am gentle with it, maybe I can get at least 200 grand out of the miles on the car, at least 200,000 miles. But anyway, as far as the cameras are concerned, I have done some research. I am going for the Panasonic G7, DMC G7. I'm going for the Panasonic DMC G7, and I know I had originally said that I wasn't going to go for that because it would split the clips into 5-minute segments, but I found a way around that. I would just have to spend an extra 50 to 70 bucks on the Cyberlink Power Director program and combine the clips. That is if YouTube editor isn't 4K compatible by that point. I really want the GH4, the Panasonic GH4. The GH4 is a wonderful camera, also made by Panasonic. Y'all are probably familiar with it if you do video. Excellent camera. It's got a whole bunch of video modes. It even has 4096 by 2160 True Cinema 4K 24p, and it's just an amazing camera. But the thing that's stopping me, there are a couple things that are stopping me, and one of them is the price. It is way too expensive. Half price is 850 bucks. I mean, well, the original price would be $1,700. It's on sale on B&H right now for I think $14.97 or something, but I'm going off on what the list price would be, which would be $1,700, the original price. The GH4, like the cheaper GX8 that I had mentioned before, which the GX8 was the one that looked like the point and shoot that y'all saw in my other video. Just like the GX8, the GX4 does not include a lens with the camera, which I think for that kind of a camera is really bad. But I did the research, and I'm talking half price on all of these prices that I'm about to list here. Okay, all half price. If I were to get the GH4, I would have to buy the 14 to, I would have to buy a lens, which I would probably get the 14 to 42 millimeter lens, which is $165. That's probably one of the cheapest lenses, because that's about all I could afford. Plus, let's see, I'd probably get about 4 of the DSTE BLC12 battery and single battery and charger packs to have 4 chargers and 4 batteries. So that would be, and that's about $13 to $15 each, so that's, let's say, $60. And then, let's say, probably 3 64 gig memory cards, because that's 64 gigs would give you about an hour and 20 minutes of video. So that would be 4 hours and 40 minutes of video. So that would be another, let's see, let's just say $40 each for those memory cards. That would be another, that would be probably another $120. So anyway, basically adding all that up, the GH4 plus the lens, plus the memory cards, plus the batteries and charger would be $1195. That's $1,195. Half price. The GH4 is an amazing camera, don't get me wrong, but I'm not about to pay quadruple digit prices for a camera. I mean, that's ridiculous. The GH4 is amazing, but I'll leave those up to people who have more money than me for that, because that's just crazy. Luckily, the G7 is basically, I guess you could say the G7, I know this sounds bad, but I don't mean it in a bad way. The G7 is really, I guess you could call a poor man's GH4 in a way. It's got a lot of the same features as the GH4. One complaint that I do have is that it doesn't have the true cinema 4K 4096 by 2160 24p that the GH4 has. I know that's a really slow frame rate, especially for fast moving trains, but it is what professional filmmakers use, and so I was a little bit disappointed that that was absent from the G7. The G7 does have 24p, but it's only available in the more conventional 3840 by 2160 4K, not the 4096 by 2160p. Another thing is the G7 is not splash or dust proof. The GH4 and the GX8 are made of magnesium alloy, and they're splash proof, weatherproof, and dust proof, which basically means if it rains on it, you don't have to worry about it getting wet. So basically, I would be able to go out in the pouring rain and film trains and not have to use an umbrella on top of the camera. I could just have the umbrella over me and just let the camera get as wet as it could. Unfortunately, the G7 doesn't have the weatherproofing. So that was another thing that kind of disappointed me in a way. But you do get what you pay for, and the G7 is an amazing, awesome alternative to the GH4. Like I said, it's got a lot of the same features. It's an excellent B cam. A lot of times when you're taking videos and doing like 2 different angles or whatever, it can be kind of hard to tell, or it can be hard to film 2 different things. Like if you're using a Sony camera for one thing and a Canon camera for another, and you're trying to match the footage, because Sony's because two different manufacturers' videos look completely different from each other. If you use the same manufacturer, it's a lot easier to do that, to replicate it. The GH4 and the G7 are obviously both Panasonic, and so the G7 makes a very good B camera, so to speak. And actually, I saw a video on YouTube showing the GH4 versus the G7 video quality, and the person that uploaded it intentionally did not tell you which camera was which. And to be honest with you, I'm being completely honest here, I could not tell the difference in the videos. I could not tell which one was the G7, and I could not tell which one was the GH4. I could not tell. They didn't say which one it was, and I could not tell. I guess that the first shots were the G7 and the second ones were the GH4, but I honestly don't know. I could not tell. But anyway, in short here, and this is getting to be a pretty long video, so I'm going to kind of try to wrap it up here. Anyway, so like I said, $11.95 half price for all that stuff is just ridiculous. I love the GH4 and everything, and I mean, I could wait for the GH5 to come out, which is supposed to be released in 2016, because it's probably going to have 4K 60p and all that, and I'm probably going to be kicking myself for not waiting. But knowing Panasonic, they're probably not going to include a lens in the package for that model either, and it's probably going to be just as expensive, if not more expensive, than the GH4, and I really don't want to pay that much, especially if I can get just about the same video quality as a G7. I mean the 60 FPS would be great, but I really think that's better suited waiting until a later time when it comes down more in price. But I think 4K 30 would be a good starter, since I started with 1080 30. Well, I started with 1080 60, but was uploading in 1080 30, so since YouTube wasn't 1080p 60 compatible at the time. So anyway, but I know I should probably wait for the GH5, but because it's probably going to have like the 4K 60, the 2160p 60, but I just don't feel like paying that much, is all I can say. It's crazy. So I think in short, what I'm going to do is just finish getting the money for this car, pay for it, get it, and then start saving up for the G7. I looked into the money, and basically for the G7, and you're going to love this, the G7 comes with the lens, right? You don't have to buy a lens separately. I mean, you can if you want, and I'll probably buy lenses, you know, later on, but for now I'll probably stick with the kit lens if I do get it. But it comes with the lens, half price. The camera would only be, with the lens, would only be $399. That's just under $400. Add the batteries and chargers, which I'd probably pay about $64. Getting the DSTE single battery and charger, just 4 of those, plus the 3 memory cards, I'd pay somewhere around $579, $580. That's easily, the GH4 half price is easily more than twice the amount of that. And I can get about the same video quality on the G7 as I can on the GH4 for a much lesser price. So I'm just thinking, you know, this would probably be the best way to go. So in short, that's probably what I'm going to do. It's good for the G7. And spending a little extra money for CyberLink Power Director 13. Hopefully by the time I save the money for the G7, for the YouTube video editor will be 4K compatible, but you never really know. But I also heard that the G7 and GH4 can also take regular SD and SDHC memory cards. So I'm wondering if maybe I could just use my regular existing memory cards and not do the UHS U3 memory cards and maybe save my money. That's something that I want to find out. I have heard that I did hear that the GH4 could handle regular SD and SDHC memory cards, but the transfer speed was a little on the slow side. I think that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true for the G7 too, but if it works, I mean, I've got all these memory cards, and in fact, here I'll show you all these memory cards here. Okay, alright, so I got a Transcend 32. I got a SanDisk class 4 4GB. I got one, two, three Transcend class 10 32 gigs. This one is a 300X. I got three class 10 Transcend 16 gigs, a Fujifilm class 6 4GB, a SanDisk Ultra class 6 8GB, and even though I don't have it with me right now because it's in my HX9V point and shoot camera, another SanDisk Ultra class 6, I believe, 32 gig memory card. So this would easily be, so if the camera could take this, that would be 128 gigabytes, which would be, that'd be about 2 hours and 20 minutes of video. So if the G7 could handle that, that would be 2 hours right there. 16 hours, that would be 40 minutes right there, so that would be 120 minutes right there, so that would be another 2 hours. That would be 6 hours. Plus the other 32 gig, that would be another hour and 20 minutes, so that would be 7 hours. This would be another probably 10-20 minutes. 4 gig probably wouldn't do anything, so we'll leave those out. But anyway, so if the G7 is already compatible with these cards, I may not have to get any more of them. But anyway, that's something I want to find out before I get it. So I don't know yet. I probably am going to end up getting a couple 64 gig memory cards just to be safe. But anyway, if those do work, I'll ask somebody first, but if all those work, that should be well over 7 hours of 4K video, if I counted right, which is more than enough. I'd have to change them out pretty often, but it would get me through. So anyway, oh, and one more thing I wanted to mention, actually. I actually found something very interesting. Believe it or not, Panasonic's Lumix line can actually take Canon EF lenses. Suppose you're wondering, how can they do that? Well, turns out that you can get a Canon EF to mirrorless 4/3 mount and screw the you take, it's basically like it's about this big around, but anyway, it's like this little thing that you screw onto the where the lens would go. So basically you screw that onto there, onto the mirrorless side, and then you can put the Canon lens right here, because it would have the EF mount on this side. And my uncle has a Canon Rebel T2i, so I'm not sure if he has the PL mount or the EF mount. I'm almost positive it's the EF mount. I think the T2i's have the EF mount. If y'all can leave a comment and tell me, I would appreciate, but I'm almost positive they're the EF mounts. So if I get the G7 and get that that adapter, I might be able to try a few of his lenses on there and actually give an idea of what a Canon mirrorless 4K would look like. Canon doesn't have a mirrorless 4K, but it would give you an idea of what it might look like. So, but I also wrote a review about one of those getting stuck on there, so I don't know if that was just a one-time lemon or not, but kind of makes me wonder if I should just stick with the Panasonic lenses or not. But anyway, it was only like, I don't know, $20 some on Amazon, so I'm kind of tempted to try it. I think it might be pretty cool. So, but I also know that Canon's lenses are probably more expensive. I think Canon's lenses are probably more expensive than Panasonic's. But anyway, first things first, gonna get the car. But I'm hoping to be shooting in 4K no later than spring 2016. That's the plan. But we'll see. Gonna go ahead and get this car first. Hopefully start driving. You know, get out on the road and get some more railfan trips in and stuff. And hopefully this coming winter won't be too bad. Hopefully we won't have as much snow as last time, but anyway, we'll see about that too. But anyway, that's all I got, so I think I'm going to go for the Panasonic G7, and if there's anything else, I'll let y'all know. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you later.